All right, welcome to another episode of Barely Famous. I'm your Barely Famous host, Kail Lowry, and today I have really special guests, Party Shirt. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I have to tell you that my son is a big fan.
We're a big fan of him.
And I texted him and I said, do you know who Party Shirt is? And he was like, yeah, Mom, everyone knows who Party Shirt is. And I was like, okay. And he was sending me videos. And the video of the little wax bottles.
Oh, yeah.
And the trick that you guys did.
You shotgun it?
Yeah.
Oh, those... We went through those in 2 days. Yeah. I remembered them as kids.
Yeah.
I hadn't had them for years because I never really see them anymore.
Did you have them in Australia?
Yes. Yeah, they'd be at we call them milk bars, but I guess it's your convenience stores.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'd sell them for 5 cents each.
Yep.
And yeah, I just remember chewing on them all to get them out.
I know.
After watching that video, I went through a box in 2 days.
First of all, where did the name Party Shirt come from?
So pretty much, we always used to wear these oversized Hawaiian shirts. We still do. But, our friends would be like, oh, you got your party shirts on tonight.
Okay.
And so then from there, when we're thinking of a DJ name, I can't remember what the first one we thought of was, but someone already had the handle on social media. So we're just party shirt. And it just worked. And we're just the name was free.
How did y'all meet?
So one of my childhood best friends in Orange County was his roommate at USC.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, you're doing DJ, music production. He's doing that too. You guys should meet up, see if there's any compatibility. And we met, hit it off.
The rest was history.
Right away.
Yeah, here we are.
And then I obviously checked on your TikTok, 20 million followers.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
Did
you think it was gonna happen? Did it happen overnight? You guys just went viral, or what? How did this happen?
So sort of we're big manifestors and dream big. Even before we had a single follower, we're thinking of headlining Coachella. We had this goal of all right, by the end of we started TikTok, taking it seriously at the start of quarantine, and in my head I'm like, this is a big audacious number, but by the end of 2021, if we could have 10 million followers, we've made it. We're really on track to our goal. And then, 2020, we started TikTok to promote our music because we're music producers first, and quarantine happened, so we can't DJ. So we're like, all right, this is a good way to get our music out.
Right.
And so we're just making content, about our music, around our music, other reaction videos, just to sort of build a little small following.
Yeah.
And then, so by the end of 2020, we had about 700,000 followers. And my goal for that year was if we could hit 1 million followers, I'd be doing cartwheels.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then so there was about 2 weeks left to go. We're at 700,000, and we'd been stuck there for a couple months. And we just tested out, we love MythBusters. We love, we saw all these videos, and we're like, let's just test them for fun, and let's just film them. Why not? May as well. Could be content for the day, because we're trying to post 7-8 videos a day just to sort of keep up and break through.
7 or 8 a day?
Yeah.
Dude, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was
oh my God. I was trying to grow my following on TikTok. I'm not funny, so I have no content. And I'm stuck at 2 million, and I think it's only because people know who I am prior to TikTok.
Yeah.
It's not an organic TikTok following.
Right.
And just trying to do one video a day for me is I can't.
I get it.
7 or 8 videos a day.
When we look back now, it's you just at the start of your career when you have that first amount of success, it's you're running off adrenaline for so long.
Yeah.
I look back now and I'm the fact we were able to maintain and sustain that for pretty much a year, without any days off, to me is baffling, because now we do 2 a day and I'm that's good.
Right.
We would legit stay up till 3 a.m. doing videos every day.
But it worked. It paid off.
It did.
Yeah.
So it's almost great.
Yeah.
Good for y'all.
No, I wouldn't have done it any differently. And then just sort of, so we're at 700,000 followers mid-December 2020. We start Fact or Cap, and then by Christmas we're at 4 million followers. So in a week or two,
it was crazy.
And then by Ivy's birthday, February of 2021, we were at 10 million. So already hit the end of year goal, and then now we're at 20, and then it's sort of what's the difference between 20 or 40 million followers?
Yeah.
We love what we've done with social media, and obviously you're going to keep producing content, but now it's we got to get back to the music, because that's sort of why we started this. Right. And what our true, what our first passion is, our first love.
So are you guys incorporating some of your music into what your following is what you're doing for your following?
Yeah, we've sort of like, you know, teased it a little bit and haven't really, because we were just sort of worried like, oh, well, we're the Fact or Cap guys. We don't want to upset people by bringing in new content that they didn't sort of subscribe for. But now it's just like, you know, we're working on this new song we're going to release soon. We just did a remix for Black Eyed Peas last year.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
so cool.
My Humps, which was like, as a, you know, like as a kid, Black Eyed Peas, and still today
huge deal.
One of my favorite groups ever. So that was really cool. And now it's like, all right, let's start releasing regularly. Let's, you know, get back on the road and start building a following there. Because it's just like, we just sort of like got so into the content because we love that as well. Like, we're entertainers first and foremost. There's some musicians who are very sort of like, I'm an artist, yada yada. You know, this is my like. I only do music. Like, I don't want photos. I don't want this. They're like mysterious. We're just entertainers.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you know, it's not like the TikTok thing isn't us. It's just like we just forgot about the other part of it for so long.
And that's like part of who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you
and
love
now
to
it's
make
like a channel, like a platform to fuel the other passions.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. Have you guys done like collaborations or anything with other people from like through TikTok because of your following?
A ton. Like Harry Jousey was one of our first ones, another Aussie.
Yeah. We got on Access Daily with Mario Lopez.
That's so
it was
exciting.
great meeting him. Dylan Francis, who's a DJ and producer we respect. We just did a collab with him, and Benny Blanco, who's also another really well-known music producer.
Right.
And just sort of just the most odd, you know, and also people that just follow you and like your content that I would have never, you know, could have I've been watching them for a decade, and then I'm like, you like my stuff?
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy.
It's so crazy the power of social media,
It
right?
really
Like
is.
when we're growing up, like our parents would have had no idea, and now like people can become overnight sensations and become literally like millionaires.
No,
you know what I mean?
I know.
It's
Before like this, my parents were like, "What the hell are you guys doing?
Right.
Like, you guys need to figure it out soon." And then like they're like,
wait a minute.
At first they're like, all right, we don't know what's going on, but we know like you guys are successful.
Totally.
And now they're like, okay, now we know what you guys have.
Right.
Like,
well, and
on.
it created jobs in a way that's like there's the content creators that they make money doing that, and then there's the people who help creators run their pages.
Yes.
Right.
Like the social media managers.
Yes.
And so it just is like this crazy thing that I don't think any of us could have thought that it would
Absolutely
happen.
not.
You know?
I was doing YouTube in 2007, like sort of that first wave of creators, and still then in my wildest dreams, I could have never fathomed how far along we'd be. Like, when did you? Because I know you know how you start on traditional, you know, MTV.
Yep.
When did you sort of get into social media and start really utilizing that? And how quick was it at the start?
So the peak of social media, like Twitter and Instagram, was kind of right when I started the show in 2010. And so I think that, you know, I wasn't really an influencer, right? Like that wasn't a thing in 2010. So I don't think that I really fully grasped like the potential of an influencer.
Yeah.
Probably until like the last 5 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Were you on the like social media back then?
I started my social media right when like Instagram around 2010.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a time where like, I mean, Kristen, that's my assistant and my best friend, she, you know, I would get ads, like deals on social media, and I wouldn't even do them because I was like, this is such bullshit. I have to do it 100 times. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I want all of the deals.
Yeah,
Give me all of them. You know,
yeah.
like,
How was the money for them back then? Was it still really good back then?
you
or
know
it
what?
Was sorta...
It was.
Okay.
It still was good. I mean, now I think they focus more on like the micro influencers, but I mean, I still get like good deals, and I'm like, okay, like this is really cool, and I don't think that anyone would have thought that this is where social media
No way.
Yeah.
You know?
No way.
Like, even I have Instagrams for all my kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Why
I have
not?
4
Yeah.
boys,
That's
and
a new trust fund.
well, and I'm like, I don't know where Instagram will be when they're
Right.
18, but like they have a following. You know what I mean? So like, I want to keep it going. If in the event that they can do something,
Yeah.
you just never know.
No, I wish
you know?
when I was like, 16, I already had 1 million followers and all these brand deals coming in, and
Totally.
you could be set for life like that because
100%.
it's just such a range of what influencers make too, right?
Right.
And like, it's not just about the following, because there's influencers out there like Forbes reports like, oh, they make 20 million. There's some making literally way more than that.
Right.
It's just not reported. Like, you know, these people don't want to be like, hey, I'm making $100 million a year, because they're quickly going to lose their following. But it's crazy what some people are making.
I could see you guys on like Ridiculousness. Y'all should go.
I would love
that
Ridiculous.
show. We need to get in contact with
Rob.
Rob too. Rob, if you're listening, invite us to the Fantasy
has a
Factory,
podcast.
please. Oh, we'll get on
he has. I started listening to his podcast. I just really respect Rob Dyrdek as like a business person.
Of course.
And he has a Dear Deck Machine podcast, and I was listening to it, and he talks about like branding and things like that, products, and you guys have the personalities for.
Thank you. That means a lot. Like
when
we started manifesting like deeply, even before like any type of success, we're like. Rob Dyrdek, he talked about how he went to this like hypnosis in San Diego and like that, hypnotized
for success.
Yeah, and we're like, we're going to find this guy and we're going to go down to San Diego and figure it out and pay him whatever it is.
What's like your dream collab? Musically or in just like TikTok or whatever.
I mean,
like
musically, it's just not going to happen because Daft Punk like ended their career. But like, if we could have made a song with Daft Punk, that probably would have been the coolest thing ever.
Rogers too.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like the closest to Daft Punk.
Yeah, and just like
Chic,
is just such an incredible group too. So, Noel Rogers would be incredible.
Yeah.
And then just on the sort of the content front. I don't know, like Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park.
Awesome.
Because I feel like that's sort of us in that, like, we're not super, like, highbrow, but, we just, like,
we just do what we
being
want.
ourselves,
Yeah.
Or Mike Judge, I love King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead, just, like, the comedians that I sort of grew up watching, I think if we could do something with them, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
What about,
awesome.
I feel like Post Malone would be a good fit.
Oh,
we
my
would,
God.
like,
I'm like, dude, Post Malone seems like just the coolest dude
Just so
ever.
chill. And you know
Never
what's
heard bad
crazy
stories,
is like when he first came out, I just didn't think anything of like him as a businessman really. Like no disrespect, it just didn't connect the two.
For sure.
But as time has gone on, he has his hands in everything.
I know.
Like
He's
he's
got
got
that
sunglasses
wine.
and wine, and he did something with beer.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure he owns part of Bud Light or he's got equity in Bud Light or something.
He just he does all these deals, and I'm like, I love him.
No,
I'm
I'm
such a fan.
So cool.
And he's
so
just
down
one
to
of the
earth.
best musicians.
I know.
Like,
Oh, so good.
Everything
so
he puts
good.
out is so good.
And he's
Oh, big
our
fan.
age too, which is just like.
How old are you guys?
25.
I'm 25 too.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I just turned 30. So I'm a little bit older than you
Barely.
guys.
I mean, what's a
look
few
great.
years? Yeah. Drop the skincare routine.
Right. I love that. So you guys met when you were in college. What were you guys majoring in?
I was a business major.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just went to like my community college to get a music production certificate.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have a bachelor's degree in communications. And then I live in Delaware, so like, what the fuck was I gonna do with a communications degree?
I mean, I'm not using my degree really, like.
Yeah. Well, and everything I learned in college was like There's no money in podcasting. There's nothing you can do with podcasting. And
It's
then
like, look at it now.
have like $2 million podcasts, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? You know what I mean?
No,
So
I
you just
know.
never know. Like
That's the thing.
some things work for people and some don't.
I know.
And just how fast the landscape's changing. Like I remember when Gimlet Media, started in 2015. One of the founders, he had this podcast about how he was doing this like podcast startup and all that. I'm like, what a stupid idea for a startup, like media podcasting. And then he sells it for 200 million, and then
You're
see
like, oh,
Joe Rogan gets 100 million. Alex Cooper gets 60 million. You're like, what? Like.
Crazy.
insane.
Actually.
Like even now I'm like, not everyone should have a podcast. Like if you have it, you got it. And if you don't, you don't. But there are ones that make really good money. I mean, Joe Rogan, huge fan.
Yeah.
He's making crazy money.
And
then
Alex Cooper too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if Joe Rogan did his deal today, he probably I think the deal actually was 200 million, and if he did the deal today, it'd probably be 300-400 million based off. He was just sort of like did the first one, so then
he broke the seal.
And
for
then
everyone else.
is it Smartless, the one with Jason Bateman? They just got like 80 million or something.
You know who Ethan Klein is from
Yeah,
H3? H3.
Yeah.
They probably make. I mean, their merch line, Ela's merch line.
Oh, what is it?
Teddy Fresh,
yeah,
and they
so cool.
they have 1 million followers just for the merch.
Yeah, no, they are like
killing
just
it,
printing money,
literally.
Actually,
I'm like, I can't. And then they, I think, Ethan and they sued somebody, won, and then they use that lawsuit as like case law for the next lawsuit. I mean, they just know what the fuck they're doing in all aspects: merch, lawsuits, podcasting, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they do like the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like kind of like double dipping a little bit.
Yeah.
But YouTube's so hard to get into.
It's tough to build a following. Like that's where we thought the next. When we sort of got into it, 2020, 2021, it was always like, you want to be a YouTuber, And that's still where the ad dollars are. Yeah. Like, what a YouTuber gets paid for a, 60-second ad read versus what a TikToker gets paid, it's like night and day.
Right.
And so initially we're like, all right, we got this large following on TikTok. Now it's time to convert to YouTube. But we just started, and it's like such a rat race
Yeah.
where it's like you got to put your whole week into making one video that you hope hits, and then the second it's over, it's back to the same thing. And it's not like making a few videos a day. It's like from the second you wake up to the second you fall asleep, you're filming, hoping to get like 1 or 2 good minutes of footage. And then
so hard.
you got Mr. Beast putting $10 million into a video. Like, how can you even compete these
Well,
days?
no, and then even if you were to hire somebody to do it all for you, you're not actually making that money back. So you're spending more money, because that's what happened to me. You know, I only have 150,000 on YouTube.
Same here.
But I didn't have to put it like for my TV show. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
even though it's kind of the same content, I'm not making the money from YouTube.
No.
So it's just, it was too much that I just like put it. And sometimes you're just big on one platform and not the other.
Right, exactly.
And you just never know.
That's it.
But I do think, and I don't know for sure, but I've heard that more people are actually watching TikTok than YouTube now.
Definitely,
They are.
yeah.
So,
it's
I mean,
surpassed watch
that's
time.
beneficial to you guys.
100%, and that's
know?
another thing, the landscape changed where I think YouTube's just less important these days, because
Right.
it's sort of like the big YouTubers are there, and now I see a lot of it sort of like, you know, podcasting's really taken over on YouTube, sort of these mini documentaries on creators and artists and celebrities, and sort of like it's less personality based than it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it's more going to almost like a TLC type of a network of like, you know, interesting stuff you didn't know you wanted to know.
Yeah.
Like how it's made, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's hard to, I forget who, Perez Hilton. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
He was saying like how hard it is to maintain like the spotlight once you
Yeah.
have it.
Right.
Like, you know, if you become an overnight sensation on TikTok or YouTube or whatever the case is, like how hard it is to like maintain it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know? And, you know, I feel like for you guys have so much potential.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
now you
you.
have like your, first of all, Factor Cap, so funny.
Thank you.
Where did that come from?
We were just testing a few different names because it was like fact or not or not
bullshit
fact
or not. So, there were like so many
and honestly,
different
we
names
sort
in
of
the
just
beginning.
A/B tested it with the audience,
Yeah.
and like I think they sort of voted on one video and like this is a name we like, and it just sort of stuck.
Oh, my son always says it.
That's so
Oh my
good.
God.
huh?
Or he tells me, stop the cap. I'm like, you're 8, relax. So
Little
what's
superstar.
the best fact or cap that you've ever done?
We've sort of mutually agreed.
Yeah,
it's
the
like
Wii one?
The Wii
Yeah.
one. Yeah. There's, remember the Nintendo Wii?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So there's like an infrared bar that your controller uses,
Yeah.
and so because it uses infrared, if you don't have that bar that plugs into the Wii, you can use 2 candles, and the controller picks up the infrared from that to know where it is, and it works the same. So
But why would y'all know that?
a video? There was
video, yeah.
some science page was like, "Hey, this is a thing," and we're like, "Really?" And then we tested, we're like, "Okay, this
Yeah.
is a thing." And that video didn't even perform that well. We're just like,
No.
"That's the
that one
coolest
just
thing.
shook us because we thought it was for sure fake, you know.
Right.
And like we like film it and we're like, holy shit, it works. Like we gotta
That's so
refilm
crazy.
this.
Yeah.
Like,
That's crazy. I would.
Yeah.
The things that people come up with, I'm like,
It's incredible."
so where do you find the ideas?
So we honestly get tagged
Yeah.
in pretty much
Okay.
them all. So they're
Yeah.
pretty much crowdsourced, which helps a lot of
Right.
the workload,
Saves
honestly.
so much time.
And then it's just a brand recognition when people see these videos and the top comments tagging Party Shirt, they associate us with testing
Sure.
Yeah.
myths and stuff. So we got really lucky in that. Like that wasn't something that we thought at the start because we're just like we couldn't find enough videos. So we're
Yeah.
like, hey, tag us, and it just sort of caught
Right.
on. So sometimes you just do things accidentally, and it's
Yeah.
like the
And it-
smartest thing you did.
Oh my God.
No, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to ever podcast, and here we are.
There we
Like,
now you got a whole
smartest thing I've ever
network.
done.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So have any celebrities reached out to you guys to collab?
To collab, I'm trying to think. I mean,
You know, one's on TikTok. You know,
Okay.
yeah, bunch
not
of
so much
TikTokers.
traditional.
Shay Mitchell like reposted our videos.
I love
Yeah,
her.
I love her. I used to
Yeah.
love. I mean, I still do love Pretty
Yeah.
Little Lies.
Yeah.
I just not on anymore.
I
But,
love Shay.
Yeah, there's like I'm trying. There's probably been a couple, and just. But like we haven't done it because we were doing a lot of collabs at the start, and then it was just like it takes up a lot of time, sort of the
Yeah.
planning, coordinating,
Yeah.
and we're trying to maintain. You know, when you just agree to 100 things at once, and then you like get overwhelmed, and you're like,
Yeah.
let's just take a step
100%.
back. So we sort of did that at the start, and then we stopped collabs, and now it's more like. You know, if we like see someone we really like and they like us, mutually,
Yeah.
like, hey, let's go
Right,
test this
right.
food together,
Yeah.
or let's go, do this. But another thing with the Fact or Cap, it's more like some of it. It's not if we just get someone just to come on for no reason, it's not that authentic. Like
Right.
I'd rather find someone who specializes in hair when we're going to do a hair one.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Or something like that, where
Sure.
it makes sense that they're coming
Right.
on the show, and it's
Totally.
not just like us trying to.
Right.
Just do
Incorporate
whatever.
it.
Yeah,
It's just like a waste of
exactly.
everyone's time.
Exactly.
And effort. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. So what's it like dating for you? Have you guys like had people reach out and try to date you because of your following or Are you guys in relationships?
Yeah, we're both in
Yeah.
relationships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
But
before
I mean,
it wasn't like you'd probably think. It wasn't
Yeah.
like we had 1,000 girls DMing us the day we
Yeah.
went viral. And I mean, it was more like, I guess, when you meet people out and stuff, like, you don't know, like, people don't come up to you and the first thing they say is, hey, I know that you've got a following on TikTok, right? Like, you could be talking to someone for an hour or two and then they'll slide something
And then
in
you
that
realize.
they know.
Yeah.
Like, they'll
Yeah.
ask about a creator we've collaborated with, or they'll ask about, like, or they'll do a fact or cap reference or something, and it's just
It doesn't feel
You're like,
genuine.
I know you know. Just tell me already.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah.
I know.
I hate it.
It's just so like
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just fucking say it.
Yeah.
Exactly,
It's
'cause
like
then
I'm not weird about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just- yeah.
So do your girlfriends want to be in all your videos or no?
No,
They
they
don't care.
never asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither have really asked. I mean,
Yeah.
like, if they
It's
wanted
just
it,
such
they
a
can.
system. I feel like they
Yeah,
understand.
exactly.
You know?
We've got
Aw.
it down to a science.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I guess they probably wouldn't mind being creators, but they're not like.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be creators, I
Right,
guess.
right.
Because I feel like it's something you got to want to do. Because if
Yeah.
you sort of like,
Force it and then
yeah,
it feels like
Yeah.
yeah. But
disingenuous.
hey, if one day they wake up and say, "Hey, can we be in a video?" Of course.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt us.
How are you guys together every single day then?
Us two?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
we
live
live together. We finish each other's
Are y'all
sentences as
twins
well.
also?
Yeah.
Not by birth, but
Yeah.
by
That was the
destiny.
crazy-
Yeah.
That was
Even
wild.
Steve back there was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
Okay.
we're together
So what
today.
made y'all want to start podcasting?
So for us, it was like,
Yeah.
you know, we just love Reddit. And
Yeah.
so we would like always go read these Reddit stories and stuff. And we're like, this is almost sort of a natural progression of fact or cap where we like
Yeah.
curate content and then sort of add our touch to it. Because,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
we started with reaction videos, which is sort of the lowest form of like curating content. I mean, the lowest form would just be reposting, then sort of like
Right.
reaction videos. And then sort of fact or cap where it's like you add something onto existing content.
Okay.
And then same with Snack or Yak, where we add our test and try it. And then sort of, I don't know though, our sort of Reddit-based podcast is finding these Reddit threads and giving advices to guys who are just trying to figure it out. Because I think there's been a rise of these social media influencers who have become sort of advice gurus. And it's sort of like, who made you the, you know...
The advice king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're coming from a place of, we don't know. But
Yeah.
this is what...
we're just like, hey, whatever we say could be complete bullshit.
Honestly,
we're just talking shit right
Yeah.
now. You know?
The Reddit-based ones are my favorite. Like I follow a lot of them on TikTok even.
Same.
And like, am I the asshole?
Yeah.
They're
Or
so
like,
good.
they're so good. And
I
even
know.
the like Reddit TikTok accounts.
Yeah.
Where they like, they're
Just
so
the voice
good.
reading
And I
it.
reference so many of them on my own podcast. Because the stories are wild. And I
That's
feel
the
like
thing.
I know.
Reddit is so honest about
Yeah.
some things that I'm like, what the fuck? Like where?
I
Like,
know.
but I don't know how to work Reddit, so I only get to Reddit through TikTok.
Yeah.
No, I
You
get it.
know?
We'll teach you how to
It
use
does
it.
take some like getting used to in the beginning.
Like, cause I've tried to not Google, but like Reddit, like certain threads to like
Yeah.
read my own.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't know how to use it. So
Yeah,
and
no.
some of my worst trolls are on Reddit, so I don't
Yeah.
want to find anything
No,
about
I
myself.
understand that.
So,
Yeah,
do you guys
yeah.
have any trolls? Like, do you face any of that or
no,
not really?
We honestly, like, the thing is, like you, I just don't go looking because
Yeah.
it's like, I know that.
Ignorance is bliss.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Totally.
But we've been pretty fortunate that, like, because I've seen some creators with, like, a much smaller following get a lot of backlash. And,
Right.
like, you know, luckily, again, I just sort of haven't seen it, but, you know.
Don't even look for it.
I
Yeah.
know.
Like
It's just,
energy crushers,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
bet.
and energy travels.
I
Yeah,
know.
you know?
100%.
I don't need
Even
that in
over
my
the
head.
internet, you start to like
Totally.
believe the
Of
horrible
course,
shit, or like
yeah.
it gets into your head.
And then at
so-
the end of the day, it's like, you don't know who's posting what on there. And, like,
Exactly.
you know, are they
Crazy.
in a bad place and they're just saying that because they're angry?
Have
Like,
to be.
And they don't know
Exactly.
you personally. Like,
Yeah.
how much of a judgment can they really make
Right.
based off watching curated content? You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Well, I love what you guys do. I think it's so
appreciate
fun.
that.
What's next for you?
Just honestly,
Music stuff.
music and
Yeah,
stuff really
music.
big. We just did a deal with a production company to start shopping around our,
Okay.
you know, longer form fact or cap because we
Right.
think it like, it's hard to do everything we want to do in a minute, you know,
Right.
because
Yeah.
you got to. Like, it's a game of wanting to make the best content possible, but also play into the algorithm, and the
Right.
algorithm likes shorter content, you know?
Oh, see, you just taught me something new. I didn't
There
know
you
that.
go,
So they
yeah.
like, I would do like my Target hauls, and they would get like 1 million views. That was a big deal for
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
But they're like 3 minutes long, so they like shorter videos.
Yeah.
And sometimes the longer works because if you can get them to watch the full thing and it's longer, that's going to win. But most people's like attention span now is like 30 to
Right.
45 seconds.
Ah,
Like I
okay.
even see it with our videos. If we post a 3-minute video, it could be the best content ever. It's probably not going to do as well as the most silly fact or cap that's 20 seconds long.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
TikTok's going to see that
So quick
completion
and
rate.
easy, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and then also just sort of adding in our personalities more because, again, in that short format, and that's why we wanted to start a podcast as well. As you know, I like to think that we're somewhat funny and engaging. So just to have that sort of longer format stuff to really showcase our personality, because I'm sure with you too, you've probably seen on social media, you can't get everything out what you want to say in an Instagram post, but with your podcast, you can share
way more.
Yeah,
and people can get to know you guys.
And then for you, how was the evolution to the podcasting thing? How'd that all happen? So you started on traditional TV, you start growing the social media following, and that sort of becomes like the new modern media. Then how'd it go from there?
Another girl from a different reality show on a different network, she reached out to me and said, do you want to do this podcast? And I was a little apprehensive about it. I was like, everything I learned in college was like, don't do podcasts. But I was like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Fell in love with it, and I feel like we were, one of the first. I don't think we were the first, but the first duo from reality TV to do a podcast.
Oh, that would have.
So we've been doing this since 2017.
Okay, so
and then I started a second one, and now this is my third one. And so it just kind of evolved that way, but I have gotten so many messages about like getting to know me in a different level on my podcast versus on TV, because like you're saying, I mean, my segment on TV is maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, even though it seems a lot longer because it's on a show,
right.
It's people can
Exactly,
I get to just like be myself, and it's unedited on here.
And you don't even on the TV, you don't get to decide what clips go in.
No,
or
I have no.
They can make you look
crazy,
any type
which
of way.
they do.
Exactly, they have to, for the
it's
numbers.
TV. I get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So no, and I completely get it. But I want to pitch my own show, so I feel like I have more to offer.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be manifesting for you guys to go on ridiculousness
God,
because I feel like that would be so good for you.
I would love that. Rob, come on, someone's gotta know Rob.
That's
what
what
We're gonna
a lot of
tag him.
people to say too. They're like, you guys like give me like Rob Deerdick energy.
Yes.
We're like,
That's a huge compliment.
Yes. No.
Like,
I definitely, I'm going to manifest that.
Okay, thanks. Us too.
Thank you so much. Do you want to plug anything else before we go?
Just check out our podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know though. It's spelled IDK space THO. It's on all streaming platforms. Or go to idktho.com. Check it out there. Thank you so much for having us. It's been so much fun.
I know.
I appreciate
it
you
went
guys
quick.
coming.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're here for, right?